Hey, Sandals Church man. I was wondering if you could identify with the statement that I've been thinking about is that I feel like I'm out of control this year. And not that I'm like running wild, but I feel like I have no control in my life. And it's kind of a scary feeling for me. I think I've realized that I love to be in control, or what I feel like is in control, that I have things planned out. I know what's going on. I know there's a safety net around me, with people, with finances, with all the things in life. And, one of the things that Pastor Matt said this weekend is if 2020's taught you nothing, is that you have no control. And I realized that hit me pretty hard because this year's been nothing but out of control. As many of you know, I lost my son in January, and it's been absolutely horrific to walk through that pain, and I had no control over that. Obviously, coronavirus and wildfires and all the things that are going on, we really have not a lot of control. And I think that, like Pastor Matt said, we try and control things in our lives and people in our lives, and it's hard to love what you try to control. It was one of the things that I wrote down that he said, and I think that's so true. I want control with my family and at work, and the reality is that we're just trying to play God. We're trying to be the God of our own lives instead of surrendering to the God of the universe. And his words that were really challenging is, you think you're in control because you don't know God. And even though I would argue and say I do know God, in those moments where I'm trying to be in control, I'm showing that I really don't know God in the way that I think I do. I'm thinking that I can do it on my own. I'm thinking that I'm strong enough, wise enough, savvy enough. And he said that we can be friends after you figure out that I'm God. That's like what God says to us. Hey, we can be friends, we can be buddies, but you need to know that I'm God. And I think the challenge for us men is to put God on his rightful throne. We have no control over our lives, our families, our jobs, really anything in this life. And the election, anything else that's going on, we don't actually have control. And so the feeling of being out of control is actually real. But there's safety in surrendering control of our lives to Jesus. And so that's what I want to challenge you to do in whatever way is practical. Here's what I did this morning. I went downstairs and I got on my knees before God, and I just surrendered to him and said, God, you're in control. You're in charge of my life. I want to follow you. I want to minister to others by your grace. I want you to walk me through whatever is going on in life. And that's what I needed to do. I wanted to reinstitute just a discipline in my life of physically showing that God's in control. And then I spent some time reading his word. And I want to challenge you to do the same, whatever that looks like for you, that demonstrates that you're not in control of your life, that you need God and putting him in his rightful place. And so this is going to be a challenge for some of us, because it's easy to slip into the pattern of, I'm going to take back the things that I gave away at some point. And so I want to challenge you in your groups to talk about this, to talk about the ways that you try and control your life and how you can surrender control to Jesus, what that would look like practically, and really support each other, pray for each other, encourage one another. So praying for you guys. I know it's a challenge, but man, God sits on the throne. He's good. He cares about us. He loves us. He has a plan for us. And he already finished his good work through Jesus by dying on the cross for our sins. And so no matter what goes wrong in the world, how awful things get, how out of control they are, we can rest knowing that he's got us. And the worst that can happen to us is we die and go to be with him forever, which is my comfort. I look to that all the time, and I want to encourage you to do the same. So check out the questions in the doc. I hope that you will just keep pressing forward. Don't give in to the demands of society and just falling into the patterns of making everything political and getting distracted from Jesus. I want to encourage you, stay focused on him. I know that he's focused on you. Love you guys.